Pulijal, a long-time Houstonian, and we are indeed privileged to be interviewing Mr. Jugal Malani, a long-time Houstonian too, and a Houston businessman. And this is being conducted on behalf of the Foundation for India Studies, Houston, Texas, for the Indo-American Oral History project being done in partnership with Houston Public Library and Houston Community College. Welcome and namaste.
Namaste, Moji.
How are you doing?
Doing just fine. How about you?
Good, good. So, when did you come to United States?
I came in year 1981.
1981.
I was 28 years of age.
I see.
And I landed in Houston straight from my hometown, Bidar.
Why Houston?
Houston because my sister and brother-in-law, they were here. They were the reason for me to come to Houston.
I see.
And they had established a business here. And I was working for them in India for their company. And it was like a natural fit for me to come to Houston.
I see. What was your background in India?
I finished my engineering in 1975.
From which college?
From Karnataka University in a town called Gulbarga, which is in Karnataka.
Yes, yes.
And after finishing the engineering, then I worked for Birla Group for about a few months in Visakhapatnam as a young engineer. I did my mechanical engineering.
I see.
Then came into the family business. In Bidar, my brother had started a business making some fiberglass electrical installations. So I joined them as a salesman. I see,
I see. Did that reflect any of your mechanical engineering background while you were in business there?
No, it was totally like a salesperson, Of course, it helps you, like a degree, everything, people will pay you respect when you say that you are an engineer.
Yes.
But in business, it was like, the price, the quality, and those kind of things.
How did you find Houston when you came in 1981 as opposed to now?
Houston at that time was, when I came in 81, it was recession time here.
I see.
And the picture I got in Houston was like very different.
Very bleak, yeah.
Very bleak, a lot of people were laid off, and people were just selling homes and, giving keys to like bank.
Yes. Foreclosing.
For foreclosing and all those things. So it continued till 1989.
Yes.
But we had a business where I was doing business with my brother-in-law. But for us it was like all growth because we had started from scratch.
I see.
But now Houston is a very different city. It's like a cosmopolitan city with beautiful buildings and so much growth I have seen compared to 81 in the last 36 years.
Yes, indeed. Did you work for any other firm other than family business in Houston?
No, straight came here. I think I had the best soft landing in Houston. I came here, my sister brother were here, so I stayed with them. I didn't have to stay in any apartment or do any odd jobs. Like a lot of students had to go through this stuff.
Yes.
So my brother-in-law tells me I have born with a golden spoon. So,
you're indeed blessed.
Yeah, I was blessed, and my first car was a brand new car.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Because, and I never stayed in an apartment, and I was able to rent a house because, because all this happened because of my sister and brother-in-law.
Indeed.
And I was working for their company, and they had given me a sales job. So they thought.
So you had good experience with that,
Yeah, a little bit experience. First 1 year was a little hesitant. It was not very easy for me.
Yeah.
Even to understand English was so difficult for me, like with the accent and everything. So it took long time for me, almost like an year, before I got my confidence that I can do it.
I see. So were you single or married when you came here?
I was married and my son was like 2 years old.
Okay.
So Raj and Pankaj, they joined me after 2.5 years. It took some time for me to get my green card and everything. Once I had the green card, then they joined me.
I see. So how many siblings are you back in India?
We are from a big family. We are 3 brothers and 3 sisters. And one of the sisters, Kiran, she is in Houston.
I see.
And others 2 sisters and all 2 brothers, they are in India.
They're in India. I see. So, what is your rank in the siblings? Are you the youngest or the oldest, or?
I'm in the middle.
In the middle. I see. Now, let me ask you. When you came to Houston, I know you said it took time for you with the language, and how did you find about communicating with people? Did you feel any kind of racial discrimination, or could you fit in? How was the mainstream for you?
You know, as I said, it was very difficult in the beginning because of the language. You know, the place I came for, English was not most spoken. We are used to Hindi.
I see.
So my English was also not very good. You know, I learned,
As you
in US.
Yeah.
And even to pronounce my name, it was very difficult. People here could not say Jugal. So on the phone, being in sales, I used to make calls.
Yes.
So first 5 minutes I was wasting just explaining my name.
Yes.
So I had to change my name from Jugal to J.
Yeah.
So that was the easy thing. Once I did that thing, and then I don't have to explain what is Jugal or what is my name.
Yes.
And then the food. I never liked pizza for first 6 months.
That's hard.
Because I never ate cheese in my life in where I came from, and the Mexican food.
Yes.
You know, my brother-in-law and sister, they used to take me to this nice restaurant for eating pizza or Mexican food, and it was like a torture for me for first 6 months. So it took some time for me to get used to the food.
Yeah.
Get to the life and everything, like, with the American culture, meeting customers, talking to them. It was a little difficult in the beginning.
Yeah. Now, lot of temples, churches, they're all springing up right now. What is your opinion of them? Do you think they can be sustained to future generations?
Houston is a very vibrant community. We Indians are very active people, especially the Indian community is very vibrant here. We have built so many temples, and it's easy to build a temple. You can raise funds and build it. To sustain it or to run it will be difficult. So right now I can see, I'm involved in the community in quite a few things. Some of the temples are already facing some issues, how they will run it. So it will be a bit challenging. So that's the reason I think for second generation, we have to see how they will come up, how they will be motivated to support this kind of temples, what the first generation has done.
Yes, because usually when you get fresh blood from India, they will be supporting. But once that kind of trickles down and we are left with the second, third or fourth generation, that's where, what is your vision about that?
See, what I have seen is when people are, till they are like students and everything, they go with parents to the temple. Once they start working, for that period, they are cut off from the community or social activities. Once they have children, they again come back because they want their children to go to temples. So for the 10, 20 years, there's a gap. So I think once they have children, they understand the importance of this. So I think slowly it will be sustainable.
On that topic, do you think Indian community is eroding because of a lot of interracial marriages?
I don't think so. This is happening everywhere. In India also, here also. So I think this is bound to happen. So I don't think we'll lose our identity in next few generations. I don't think so. Still we see, still like 98% of the marriages or 95% of the marriages are still within the community. So I don't see that problem happening for next few generations.
Okay, but eventually, I guess we blend into the melting pot.
I think it will take few generations for us.
Let me take you back to 81 when you just came. And how did you think the suburbia was? You said you came right into your sister and brother-in-law's home. How was the suburbia then? How did you get involved in the mainstream community? And what was your interaction like at that time?
At home, it was almost we were getting involved only with the Indian community. You know, we were going to the parties with only Indian friends. Everything was mostly revolving around Indian community. But in business or in office, I was interacting with other people, other community people, mainstream Americans. And it was easy to interact with them. You know, till today I never felt any kind of discrimination. You know, in business I met so many people. You know, I used to go sell and people always respected.
It's wonderful.
So that was the biggest thing in America, what I have seen. I never felt any kind of discrimination so far.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What did you think about the diversity then? Has it become more diverse now?
I think
Community, the main community.
Main community, I think because of the political situation, we see on TV more diversification than in our practical life. In business or in our, company, we have all kinds of people. So we don't see anything here, but on the news media, we see more people are just being done this thing. So personally, I have not felt that thing.
No, another thing, what I meant to ask you was, do you see people of lot more different countries coming into Houston as opposed to when you were here in '81? That was, how diverse has Houston become now as opposed to '81?
I think Houston was always diverse, but with a smaller amount of people. Now you see more people coming in.
From different
countries. So like in our office, we have like 150 people working. We have people from China, from Turkey, from Romania, from Russia, from everywhere. So Houston has become a very diverse community. I think it was there, but now we can see more people have migrated into Houston.
How did you rear your children to fit into mainstream and to reflect your values?
I think our children, second generation, is doing very well. I've seen kids around, our friends' kids, all of them are doing very, very good. So in the mainstream community, they have no issues about, they're like any other American kid. Only our color will be different, and that will be for a lot of generations, our color will be different. But as far as, getting into sports, liking the sports, all those things, we are equal to any other American.
Yeah, so we are in all kinds of fields.
All kinds of fields.
Yes. Going back to your business, I know you have been in business, of course, for 40 some years. How did you build it up to what you are, what your company is right now, in this diverse environment?
I came in '81, and being my brother-in-law's company, like a small company, we were only 2 people. So I was never treated like an employee. So I was working as my own business. And after working for 3-4 years, my brother-in-law made me a partner in the business. So I became like a businessman, and then I stayed with him for 17 years. And in 17 years, our business grew from from $1 million to up to $40 million in sales. And I was handling that business. My brother-in-law had another company, and he was managing that company. So he had given me a free hand to run the company. Then when both companies merged together, his company and our company, then it became 2 people handling one business.
I see.
So like a family business, I thought it is better to have my own business now. I work, So after 17 years, I left my brother-in-law's business. I sold he has given me 30% share in the company. I sold those shares and started a business in a totally different area, from scratch, in a different area. This wisdom was given to me by my mom. After quitting my brother's business, I went to India. And my mom, very simple lady, but she told me one thing: Jugal, don't do any business where your brother-in-law is doing what your brother-in-law has taught you. Do something else. Do only his business or his kind of business only if you have a problem feeding your family. Till that time, don't do the same business.
So there's no competition.
No competition. And
Yes.
she said in a simple word,
Very wise.
but very wise.
Very wise.
I got, and that gave me a direction to do something different. And we started from scratch, and today, in about 20 years, we have grown our business, and we are 150 people working for us.
Excellent.
And we have an excellent team of people.
Yeah, and I see good leadership here, you know.
Yeah, it's a teamwork really. You know. To grow any business, you have to have a good team.
Yes.
Nothing is done single-handed.
Yes. Talking about your mother, let me take you back to your childhood.
Yes.
So which town did you grow up in?
I'm coming from a small town called Bidar. It is in Karnataka.
Yes, you mentioned it.
Yeah, it's a historical town.
Yes.
It has a fort and everything.
Yes.
Very nice town.
Bidri work.
Yeah, Bidri work is famous for Bidri work.
Yes.
That work is a kind of art only exists in Bidar. Only Bidar people can do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's beautiful. Yeah.
And while growing up, it was a small town, so we had only up to there was no engineering college or medical college. So I had to go out of Bidar
I see.
to continue my higher studies. My parents were not very educated. We are from a business family. So business is kind of in our
In your
blood,
DNA.
you know, but my parents wanted their children to really get educated. So in those days, even they sent my sister to Hyderabad to do LLB.
I
You know, it
see.
was unheard of, especially coming from a conservative Marwadi family.
Yes.
So she did LLB and I did my engineering.
I see.
And both of us ended up here.
Yeah. Wonderful. So you had, so Bidar was where you completely grew up, and from there you came here.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Other than, so you didn't leave?
No, I
Bidar?
stayed in two years in Calcutta,
Calcutta.
handling my brother-in-laws. They were importing manhole covers from India.
I see.
So I was doing the inspection of the manholes there
I see. Before
before coming
sending
here.
it.
That's how I got entry into the business.
I see. And when did you meet Raji?
Raj, I met around 78. Ours was an arranged marriage.
Yes.
So with Raj also, basically both of us come from conservative family. So our parents decided everything. And my father said you have to marry this girl. I said that's it. So I don't even want to see her, but Raj wanted to see me. That only married. That's the reason I had to meet her. If I was ready to marry her, I did not see her.
That's big of you.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, wonderful. So you've been married in 78.
78, yeah.
Now you have two wonderful children. Tell
Yes.
us about them.
Yeah, Pankaj, he was 2.5 years old when he came here. He had also, initially, coming from India, it took some time for him to get adjusted in the school and everything. But once he got adjusted, he was like any other American kid. Then he graduated from Austin, from Texas University.
Yeah.
And then we wanted, just like my dad, I also wanted him to join our business. So he joined for few months because I pressured him. Then he quit. He said, Dad, I can't work for you. This is not what I want to do.
Yeah.
So then he quit and then he became a teacher. He taught in our public schools. He
That's
became
very
a-
noble.
Yeah. And he did that thing, then he went to Argentina to teach English over there.
I see.
So he did everything, and after 2-3 years, he said, Dad, I'm done enough. Now I'm ready to join your business. Then he came full-heartedly into the business.
Yeah.
And he started in business right from scratch, from warehouse.
Yeah.
And he was bilingual, he could speak Spanish very well. So that was a good
asset.
for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
And after 12 years, now he is the CEO of the company and running our business.
I see.
Yeah.
Have you taken a step back now?
Yes, in business I like to mention about my partner, Pradeep Gupta. When we started this company, both of us started this company together.
I see.
And Pradeep is like a brother to me, elder brother to me. He has always guided me, and it was a big help, and he has a lot of contribution in our business.
So how did this partnership come about?
Pradeep was working at that time for another company, and my company with my brother-in-law, we were competing with each other.
I see.
And he calls his friendly competitor, but we were not friendly.
Survival of the fittest.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, but we knew each other, you know. So and Pradeep had something, so he had to sell that business. And then he called me one day, like, Jugal, I'm free. So then I said, okay. Then I talked to my brother-in-law, Rameshji, and said, why don't you open up a new division called Industrial Division? So we hired Pradeep and brought him to Houston. He moved to Houston.
Where was he based before?
He was in Philadelphia before that, yeah. Then he moved because of this in Houston, and then he started his business with us.
I see.
And now, talking about my daughter, Nikita, we learned a lot of things with Pankaj, like, you know, growing first kid here.
Yeah.
And we also made a lot of mistakes.
Yes.
You know, like not sending him to, like, Austin in the beginning, thinking that party school, this and that. So all those, we thought, you know, we just leave kids the way it is.
Yeah.
So Nikki was like a perfect kid for
Always
us.
the second child gets away.
Right, yeah. So, you know, she went to all private school and everything. And then she went to UPenn and she wanted to become doctor. Again, we had our own conservative feelings. We wanted her to get married and settle down.
Yes.
But she put her foot down. She said, no, I want to be a doctor. And then we supported her. And now today she is a pediatric neurologist.
Pediatric?
Neurologist.
Neurologist. Excellent.
In the Miller College of Medicine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And doing very well.
Excellent. And I know both children are married and you're proud grandparents.
Yes, yeah. We just have our first grandchild.
Yeah.
Nikita has a baby called Avya. She's about 4 months old now.
Oh,
yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Now, you have stepped slightly back and you have given you passed the baton to your son as the CEO. With your free time, do you have any political aspirations?
No, I politically no, but, you know, community-wise, I'm involved in many things. You know, so politically, I don't think I'm a person who will be involved in politics anytime. No, but we support political people, and support is again only monetary support.
Yes. You want to stay neutral.
Right. Yes.
Which is understandable. And what is your view on charity and philanthropy?
You know, charity I learned from my brother-in-law. I could see that right from day one he was very charitable. And that really made me also think that we need to give back to the community. I learned this lesson from him. And so when I was able to contribute, we contribute to many organizations. You know, like when Chinmay Mission was building the new Shiva temple, we contributed to that. Many other temples and holy functions, Diwali functions. These are like, and Janmashtami. These are like our culturally we have to give to the second generation. So we have been contributing to that so that we can continue celebrating these events in our life.
Yes. How about your philanthropy in mainstream Houston? Are you involved?
You know, mainstream Houston, we are very much less involved. You know, recently, like, you know, we involved in a Museum of Fine Arts. They were building an Indian section. So in that we gave some contribution that got involved in Asia Society a little bit. But our charitable contributions mostly are to our Indian
community. Yes. Now, moving forward, we talked about children and grandchildren. What kind of future do you see for the grandchildren and future generations in America?
You know, I see a good future for them because I think our second generation is definitely going to do better than us, you know, in every field. And if the children, their grandchildren are, if their parents are smart, I'm sure their grandparents will be, their grandchildren will also be smart. So I see a good future for
good blending in a melting pot. And
they will prosper here. And hope they keep their roots, you know, like going back to India sometime. And, you know, I used to go like twice in India, but I can see my children going like maybe once in 2-3 years. So this is going to be less and less.
Yes. You know, as their ties in India also vanish.
Right,
It will be like a vacation destination.
Exactly.
Any regrets for coming to US?
No, not really. You know, I came here and I came with a dream, and my dream was very successful. I came here to support my family. In the beginning, you know, I did all those things. So my family is in a very better situation because, you know, this country really made me, you know, who I am.
Do you ever, when you look back, do you ever wonder how life would have been or you would have been had you stayed back in India?
Actually, I wanted to stay back in India. I had a very comfortable life. When I was in Calcutta, I had a nice flat, circle of friends. My job was only to go to factory, 2 hours, job was done. Then go to the different restaurants and everything. And very comfortable life. But my wife, Raj, she thought I'm getting stagnated. I'm becoming too comfortable, now I'm not working hard. So she requested my brother-in-law that call him here because he is too comfortable and they need to work hard. So because of Raj, I'm here.
Very good.
Yeah.
I have a question about your son Pankaj. How did you groom him to be the CEO and take the helm of the company?
You know, once Pankaj joined our business second time, he came with full heart. So there was a...
So he's done with all outside.
So
he was very willing.
Yeah, he was outside world, he has seen. He did his, whatever, you know, as a young person. When he joined, he came with full heart. So he started working right from the warehouse. And he went to different departments. He learned from everyone. And he has good qualities of respecting the other people in the company, you know. I think once you are a son of a, like a boss or owner, it becomes a lot tougher on the kid to perform. Because everyone is looking at expectations are very high. So everything he has to do is, you know, he has to respect everyone. So he did all those things. He never disrespected anyone. And he never used his authority to, like, you know, I'm
I'm the boss.
So people love him, you know. So that was the biggest thing, I think. He gained the confidence of people that, you know, he wants to work hard and also be like his dad.
Do you think he's going to take the company in adding new products or tweak the business and...
See, everyone has different strengths. I had a strength of taking and developing new products. But I don't see that kind of developing new products from Pankaj. His strength is different. His strength is management. So the company has to change to his philosophy. Now he has to manage the business through only people.
I see. So he could support if innovative ideas came from the people.
Yes.
He would support.
That's what the business is happening now.
I see.
Now ideas come from the people. You know, they are buying, they are selling. We are just managing the people.
I see.
Yeah, and we have to cater to people's attitudes. So that's the management style. And Pankaj, I think he is being successful at that. So I think he will expand the company, but in a different way.
So do you, I know I keep repeating that you step back a bit, but do you kind of have an eye and oversee, and how do you manage now? It's a very delicate balance. You have passed the baton, but still it's your baby. So
you know, because this business is like my baby, as I said. So I go there every day, but I go like 11 o'clock, 11 to 4. I know what's happening in the company, and I don't participate in all the meetings and everything.
I see.
My habit is in the morning, go to every key person and ask them a few questions, what is happening. Then I know where the company is, what's happening in the company. So I get my feedback and I delegate to Pankaj. If I have to do something, I tell Pankaj, I think this is what you do, this is, you know, this thing, you need to look at this. So that is how we are managing business.
And he's very receptive.
Very receptive, and Pradeep is there to guide him also.
I see.
Pradeep is working full time and he takes full guidance from Pradeep.
You know, that's a wonderful working relationship. It's very hard to let go, but not too much.
Right.
And you know.
So far I've been lucky, you know, means we never had a single big fight. We had small here and there.
It's inevitable.
But nothing like, you know, we can't stand each other.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful relationship working with him.
That's excellent. And it's nice that he could step into your shoes and so to say, not yet, you know.
And I have a lot of confidence in him. He will definitely he will handle business in a very different way. And when he joined, after a few years, he brought a lot of new technology into the company. You know, so that has made work more efficient, you know, new programs, those kind of things.
Like software
and all those things. So that is a big help to the company.
So both of your children live in Houston?
Yes.
So you have a large family, you know, extended family.
Yes.
So how do you manage all the relationships, you know, with the children, their in-laws, and, you know, it's an ever-expanding family with the grandkids.
Yeah. You know, we are very fortunate. Our kids chose their spouses, I think, and their parents are very excellent. You know, Dr. Shuklaji, my Nikki's father-in-law, the excellent person. You know, I came across him. I didn't know before that, and because of Nikki, we came and we have become very close friends. You know, so it is more than a family now, or a in-law relationship. You know, we have become close friends, and we, you know. Same thing with Shankar Bhai, who is our niece, father-in-law, and daughter-in-laws, you know, and so we have been very lucky. Excellent families. Both are from like Gujarati. People call us now we are half Gujaratis. By the way, I'm a Marwadi.
Yes. You know, what do you think of all these conventions that take place? Like each community has their own convention. Like Marwadi, you have that Maheshwari convention, or the Telugu, or the Bengali, or the Marathi. They bring together a lot of people. First generation is more into it than, you know. What is your opinion about all this?
I think it is a good idea to have these conventions because under one roof you meet all these people from all over USA and exchange your, you know, convention. Now the conventions, also there is a business aspect and families meeting each other. The kids are meeting like other kids where they can find their soulmates, you know. So I think conventions are good, and since we are from different communities, I'm sure there are going to be different community conventions.
Different culturally
different. So I think it's good for the community overall to have these conventions.
Would you like to add anything? How about any achievement awards that you have for your business?
Business, like, you know, Indian Chamber of Commerce has, you know, nominated and they gave us an award for, I think, Entrepreneur of the Year or something like that. So awards are there.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So growing up, were you interested in sports or watching or playing?
My student life was very different. You know, I never not interested in sports. I was more interested in playing three cards and those kind of things.
So have you pursued anything here?
No, only watching.
Only watching,
But I got involved in, I want to talk about India House, you know.
Yes.
You know India House.
Yes.
It's a community center built by Indian community.
Yes.
A beautiful 30,000 square foot facility. Yes. So, you know, I'm more involved in that. And it has really, growing up, it took some time for Indian community to really understand what India House is. Once they came to know that it is like a totally for Indian community, you know, without any kind of restrictions or anything. So India House is growing pretty good in the community.
Any other pet projects that are?
You know, we support Ekal Vidyalaya, which is, you know, has been supporting education in India. Pratham, Magic Bus, all, you know, these are all part of, these are all like charities. And Seva here. Then all the temples, particularly a little bit. So once you are a community, you have to give back to the community in all different sectors.
50 years from now, where do you see the Indian community in Houston?
I think it will be a very progressive community. I think we already known for our affluence and our involvement, our engineers, doctors. So I think we'll be very politically also will be very much involved community. So it will be very progressive committee in the in US.
Politically, we see many candidates and from city level to.
Right. In businesses, I think already you can see so many CEOs are from Indian origin.
Yes.
So same thing will happen in politics, and slowly we'll climb that ladder too.
And what is your opinion about Indo-American relations?
I think Modi ji has done a wonderful job about Indo-American relationship. So these relationships are going to get strengthened over the time. Yeah.
Do you personally, did you have any influence on the public policy or the Indo-American relationship that you can think of?
Not really, but we are involved with like with the mayor, everything, we contributed to mayor's fund.
Houston mayor.
Houston mayor.
Yeah.
Only we can get involved
up
locally,
to the city level.
up to city level.
Yes.
And when 4 firefighters died in a big accident, on Southwest Freeway,
right.
We, as a community, we raised about $50,000 from India House platform and gave it to the mayor's fund. So in these kind of things, we are getting involved into the mainstream, or politically, or to know and get our name there. That we are a very supportive community.
Yes. So where would you like to see the Indo-American relationship?
I think they are already great, and they will be strengthened more. So I think they are going to just grow.
Yeah.
I don't see any negative thing happening between India and US. Both are big democratic countries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think the flow of students and workers will continue coming from India?
I think it is going to have some challenges, but I think America needs immigrants to take care of some jobs, and the American universities, they depend on Indian students for their own financial, monetary reasons. So there will be challenges, but overall I think it will all continue.
There will be little hiccups.
Hiccups here and there, depending on political situation. But everyone depends
on each other.
Yeah, and we are now a global community, so we just can't say shut off this, shut off this. It's not possible. So
definitely you'd consider Houston as home, and this is where you're going to retire and spend the golden years.
Yeah, that no doubt. I go now India for just for meeting the family. Once your parents are not there, things dilute.
Yes.
So instead of going twice, now I'm going once. So I think Houston is home.
So when you talked about your projects of Ekal Vidyalaya, Pratham. So when you go to India to visit, do you visit any of these facilities?
I should have done that, but I have never done it. That is in the back of my mind. Next time go to India. I say every time next time, but hopefully one of these days.
Yes.
I want to really visit Ekal Vidyalaya projects.
Yeah, and then go to the actual rural schools
and see how
they function.
Practically how they're working. Yeah. But I have not done that.
I see. Yeah. Any other projects that you think of that should happen globally or in the community? Or?
I think now we should support more projects here where we are living.
Yes.
All these projects are there like Ekal Vidyalaya, Pratham, but the job is only to collect money and send to India.
Yes.
We are not involved that much into
actual execution of that.
Yeah. So slowly we need to get involved. It's there are so many projects here we can get involved.
Yes.
So I think the community is thinking that way.
Yeah.
So I think
as we get more rooted here and
so instead of doing just collecting money and sending, we should get more involved.
I think that's a very good thought, and it's a progressive thought that we should get involved in the mainstream community. Because there are a lot of issues in Houston that need to be addressed,
Exactly.
and and as a community, not as an individual, but as a community, if we involve, probably there'll be more leverage.
Yes, I think that's the right thing to do. Now get involved where you are living.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your time. You have taken time away from your busy schedule. We do appreciate it on behalf of the Foundation for India Studies. Thank you very much and namaste.
Thank you, Kumud, and thank you for honoring with this interview.
Yes.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.